Okay guys, let's roll. Third and final part of my review of the interview of ethno-nationalist, English nationalist, British nationalist Steve Laws by the Jewish journalist Andrew Gold. Let's remind ourselves quickly who they are. There we go. Andrew Gold on the left, Steve Laws on the right. Okay, you can pause that if you want to read it. Let's have a look at what we spoke about in episode 2. We spoke about what Jewish means, religion, ethnicity, Jewish nationality, Zionism. Then we looked at the 3 main categories of Jews. Yeah, you can pause this at any stage. Okay then guys, let's get over now to the debate. As usual guys, I'll pour it and give my take at various places. This could well be a long one guys. I hope it doesn't have to go to 4 parts. Here we go. This is where we left off. Do you remember?
If we change the name
from Goldstein.
Yeah, we could change it to another name.
Yeah, so that's what, you're subverting yourself even more to try and hide amongst the population. It's just proving my point that you people are foreign.
Yeah, I don't think that's really proof. I mean, you just put Livramento in an England team that you think was English. I mean, I don't think you've got a grasp on names and where
that was just a troll post.
Yeah, it was a troll post that you got badly wrong.
No, it was a troll post. It was a troll post in terms of I was just trolling people.
Yeah.
Not
so
everything. Not
everything
I post on Twitter is taken as something serious. So
I think you can admit you got that wrong.
So if I checked your Twitter feed and went through every single
I would admit
post,
that I got some of them wrong.
I'm not saying silly. What, the English team?
With Livramento in it, saying if we didn't have different ethnicities, this is what the England team would.
Yeah, I was just doing it for a joke. Some things are a joke. Like
yeah,
you're reading too much into a throwaway like shit post on Twitter, Andrew.
Steve.
Like it's silly.
We've got good faith arguments here. You can say I got it wrong.
No, I don't have to admit anything. What I'm trying to explain to you, and what you're trying to push to me
was
is
Kane in that team?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Well, that's unacceptable.
Because it was a joke post, Andrew.
Oh, come on.
Honestly. Are we really going to spend 10 minutes of a podcast talking about a joke post?
It's been 1 minute so far.
Okay.
And you want English ethnicity. What I'm trying to say to you is I actually understand where you're coming from, and I get it. And it's a scary time right now. And it does feel that way. And it might be hard for you to imagine this, but for Jewish people as well, most of us, it does also feel really scary. For black people, it probably feels very scary. I can't speak for them. It feels scary what is happening, how quickly it's happening to this country. So I do get it. I'm not trying to have a go. I get where you're coming from. What I'm trying to say to you is this is all impossible to enact. So
how is it impossible to enact?
Because you can't really imagine a situation where
you can't imagine it. I can envision it straight away. I can envision millions of people being thrown onto planes and deported from my country.
I don't think you've thought it through.
What do you mean I haven't thought it through?
There would be a massive civil war.
What? Define the civil war.
Okay.
How would you envision a civil war? Because how I envision...
Most people would stand up for the minorities being thrown out.
But by most, define most. Those that live in the city centres.
Think of all the people who support you, right?
Yeah.
And then think of everyone else in the country.
Yeah.
And which one's bigger?
Yeah, but you're assuming everyone in the country is going to take that side, when in reality they're going to sit out and not get involved.
No, I think people will get
involved. You think the
involved.
average mum and dad that goes on the school run is going to go out on the street and fight against people because they're supporting him?
I think Tommy Robinson will fight against that.
Yeah, Tommy Robinson will do because he's a traitor.
Yeah, well, he gets hundreds of thousands of people going to his rallies. How many people go to yours?
Yeah, but he's getting hundreds of thousands of people, leading them astray, and they're only going to that rally because it's the only rally in town.
Do you have any room in your mind for that you might be wrong?
No.
See, that's the sign of an ideologue.
I don't care.
Yeah, but you might be wrong here. What's going on?
No, I believe I'm right. The future of my people is non-negotiable. I want England to belong to the English, okay?
You're living in the past, man.
No, I'm not living in the past.
That's gone.
England's not gone. England will thrive. We will get our country back.
But how?
People like you leaving.
So someone's going to come knock on my door?
No, you'll get a letter.
I'll get a letter.
Yeah, give you time to get your affairs in order, and then you'll be deported.
How much time? I've got lots of stuff to get.
Well, this is open.
A few weeks.
Personally, I would give you. It would be in stages. I wouldn't just go. Everyone's going at one time. I would start with the illegal immigrants, and then I'll go on to the foreign criminals. Ease it into the public so they can get used to deportations. Then you go for the immigrants that are not working. Then you go for the immigrants that are subverting institutions and so forth. And then you go for mandatory deportations, and you do it in a staged process. How long that takes, I'm open to negotiations. But ultimately, millions have to leave my country, or my people are going to be replaced in our homelands. That's my line. I don't care who you are. Anyone who's foreign has to go, and I'm going to keep that line until we get our country back. You may say that this is unreasonable and this is harsh, and the people may fight against it. But if you look at the likes of Bob Dylan, let's say that mixed race fella that was shouting, "Heard you want your country back." Most people would never dream of calling for deportations of mixed race people and so forth, right? It's not their average go-to British person. I would, but it's not the average British person's position. But the moment he was saying, "I heard you want your country back," everyone's like, "Deport this man, get him out of my country." So when they're threatened and they realise that their future is at stake, and this person's putting them in a position where they feel like they've got something to lose, people react very differently to how they think they would in person.
Right. I think you're just fighting my corner here, because I'm saying based on someone's behaviour and actions, we decide whether or not they get to stay in the country. So I agree with you because of what that Bob Dylan guy said.
I don't base someone on their actions.
You
and
just
behaviour.
said because of what he said.
No,
that everyone was on board.
Yeah,
not because he's mixed race.
No, but that's why they was on board. I'm not saying that's the position I would take. I'm saying that's the position that the public would. You're misinterpreting what I was saying now. Ultimately, what I'm saying is the public will move to that position when they feel threatened.
Yeah, when they feel threatened by someone's actions, when someone's getting up on stage saying, "Heard you want your country back," they go, "Get out, mate."
Yeah, and why is he in this country?
Well, because his parents are from it. I think he probably has a white parent.
There's a white parent who also has a non-white parent. If that non-white was not into the country, he wouldn't even be existing. He wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be here to tell us we want our country back.
Again, like, if the Normans didn't come in, if the
You keep going back to
but
the
that's
Normans.
history.
Yeah, history.
That's history. It's changed too quickly recently. We agree on that. It's been too quick. It's been overwhelming. And I agree as well, we need people with more similar culture if we're going to be moving them over. I get it, like people from Europe, for example. I agree as well that skin colour can be an issue, I think mostly because the woke make it an issue by constantly pushing diversity policies. They're telling people, don't look at skin colour, but by the way, we're going to implement policies.
But even using the argument of skin colour, that completely dissuades from what we're arguing about. Race is more than skin colour. Mm-hmm. It's down to diet, to IQ, to behaviour, to all sorts of factors. So just pinpointing it and saying, "Oh, it's because they're black." Of course, they are black, but they're also foreign. I don't want Albanians here. They're not black. They're not brown. No, because Albanians come over, they sell drugs, they create gangs, they cause violence.
Yeah.
Just like when the Muslims come over, they create problems, they attack people, they create rape gangs and so forth. When the Jews come over, they get involved in organisations, they call for more immigration, they subvert institutions, and they push their own as high as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Because all of these groups have self-interest, and you can't blame that. I have self-interest. My interest is the English people, and my priority is the English people. All of these foreigners have the same interest, but for their own. Not for us. And push comes to shove, you may say, "Yeah, this geezer's nice. He loves it. He supports England, blah, 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 blah." But when push comes to shove, and it's our people or his people, he's choosing his people. When push comes to shove and you have to choose between the English people and the Jewish people, you're choosing the Jewish people.
I'm choosing the English people.
Okay, so all of my guys went to do a protest outside a synagogue.
Yeah.
You're going to side with me, or are you going to side with the Jews?
What are you protesting?
Immigration.
Why are you protesting outside the synagogue?
Because the rabbis funding a NGO organisation that's flooding the country and immigrants.
I would take him to task. I would speak to him and say, "What are you doing, mate? What are you doing? Stop this. This is ridiculous. Immigration's gone through."
And he says, "No, I'm not stopping this. I'm going to fight against these fascists."
I agree. Then get out, mate. Get out. Done with you. Get out of here.
Okay, so you're slightly different to other people.
Stupid rabbi.
But it doesn't change my position.
I think you'd be surprised if you actually got out. And I mean, you've said before that you grew up in a very white area. And I think, without wanting to revert to what is typically quite a woke argument, if you had grown up around people from different cultures and ethnicities, I think you'd be able to at least see them as more human.
It's not that I don't see them as human. I just don't see them as my own.
Yeah, but unfortunately,
if they lived in their own homeland, I wish them all the best. Crack on, mate.
You saw let's go back to the realism argument here of what you want to implement, right? You saw what happened when they tried to take a kid away from some traveller family, right? And where was that? Up in near Leeds somewhere, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Leeds Hackshore or something like that. I
The
can't
whole
remember.
city nearly burned down because they wanted to take kids away from what might have been abusive parents. Imagine going through and taking millions and millions and millions of
Yeah,
people
and how
who
those
haven't done anything wrong.
How that happens, though, what's not being told is the civil servants have already tipped off the locals on what's going to happen. The NGO groups are in there rallying them up and winding them up, and the police didn't even go in there heavy-handed. They turned up, knocked on the door, they got mobbed by all of the foreigners in the area,
Yeah.
and then backed off and went. When in reality, you send a task force who's going to say, right, we're taking this person. It doesn't matter how wound up they're getting. This person's getting deported because they deserve to be deported for whatever reason.
Yeah.
They're going.
Yeah.
If that person was a murderer,
So would we
if
have
that
to...
person, let's just say hypothetically, if that was an English person who was a murderer or something, that person's not getting away with it because the community came out and said, no, actually, mate.
Yeah, but these people haven't committed crimes.
Yes,
That's
but they
the crime.
have. The crime is that they're in our country.
But they didn't commit a crime by coming into this country, did they? That's
They
we're
are
talking
victims.
about
They're
a
victims of
moral
immigration.
crime.
Yeah, they're victims of immigration by being here and being promised a land and a future that's not actually available to them. That's the way that the politics is changing in this country. There is going to be mass deportations. There is going to be remigration. Whether it goes as far as I want it or not, that's open to
No, it
discussion.
definitely won't. It's not open to discussion.
You
There's a-
can't say that. You physically can't say that.
I can
You can't
say it.
How can you
Of course
say
I can
that?
say it, because
100 years ago, they would say there was no such place as Israel, and it's never going to. And you're never going to have an Israel.
Sure,
You're never
sure.
going to have a land, and then all of a sudden, now there's an Israel. That was never going to happen. Now you've got it. To
Yeah.
say that I can't take my country back is nonsense.
Yeah.
You're only saying it because you've got skin in the game.
That's
and you've
not
got
true at all.
self-interest.
That's not true at all.
Well,
I
here's
think,
the thing.
why is Tommy Robinson saying it?
Because Tommy Robinson has loads of foreign friends. He promotes multiculturalism. He's a Zionist piece of shit, and that's why he promotes all of that.
What's wrong with Zionism if you're also pro the idea of a country?
Because
having its
he's
own
not
ethnicity?
pro-England, he's pro-Israel. He's pro-Israel before pro-England. His priorities are Israel before England.
I don't think that's true.
I do.
Why do you think that's true?
Because that's all of his interests.
Well, that's one of his many
He's paid
interests.
to do that as well. He's paid to subvert the movement and
No,
lead
he's not.
people to nowhere. How can you...
Right. In view of the recent videos I've recently put out about Tommy Robinson, where Tommy Robinson is calling on the British government to go to war with Iran so that the girls can dance on the streets, yeah, as if we buy in that, Tommy. Yeah. Tommy speaks more in defence of Israel and what we can do for Israel than what Israel can do for this country. Yeah. So Steve is right there. Let's crack on.
prove that?
How can you prove he is paid?
Because I just look at his actions. I look
See,
at
this
how
is the
wealthy he is.
problem.
Here's the thing: he's a
Ultimately-
wealthy man living in
Yeah.
Spain who's made an awful lot of money
He's not a wealthy
out of
man.
achieving nothing.
He's not a wealthy man.
He's a wealthy man.
No, he's not. Why do you think he's a wealthy man? Do you have evidence of that?
What? Because he hasn't got all of his assets in his own name.
Look, Steve,
Look, mate,
Steve,
honestly,
this is the crux of your ideology. We spoke of half an hour, right? I've got to it, and I think that what you've said about Tommy, I think that's ultimately it. You're looking for patterns, and you're not bright enough. I'm sorry, you're not. You're bright, but you're not bright enough to actually look for evidence and put things together. So you go, Tommy Robinson's a very wealthy man. You have no idea. You have no idea. Is Tommy a wealthy man? He's putting Israel before England. Is he? He's being paid for these posts. Is he? You have no idea. about
There's
any of these
videos
things.
of Tommy Robinson saying if there's a war in Israel tomorrow,
Yeah.
I would be on the side of Israel fighting for the Jews. There's videos of him saying this.
Yeah, what,
Yeah.
against England?
It doesn't matter. He's not even English. He's an Irishman living in Spain, leading the English movement. That's
Yeah.
what he is.
Look, I know you don't like Tommy,
Yeah.
but this is it. You say a lot of things that are really intriguing, and I think people are going, oh gosh, that's good, oh interesting. But when you boil it down and you get to the actual points, you don't have them. You don't have the
For
evidence.
example, give an example.
Tommy.
Okay, let's take away Tommy. Let's just take away. and we'll
Okay,
talk back
but
to
you
what
are
we're
someone
actually
who's happy to
discussing.
just come out with. You have no idea if he's wealthy.
I am very
Paid,
confident
getting
that
paid
he is
for
a
these
wealthy
posts.
man. He's a wealthy man who owns his own home in Spain.
He's not a wealthy man. I don't think he is.
Well,
But I don't know either.
Well, I think he's there.
Andrew hasn't got a clue, has he? Okay. Is Tommy Robinson a wealthy man? Well, he owns his own home in Spain. We've seen him riding around in luxury trains. I'm not talking first class now. I'm talking luxury trains, luxury compartments. I did a video. I wasn't impressed with the image I saw of Tommy with, was it his girlfriend and Lawrence Fox's girlfriend? Yeah, that wasn't a pleasant photograph to look at. He also rides around in a Bentley. Someone's paying for it. Someone's paying for his hotel meals. Someone's paying for his travel. Yeah. Might not be coming out of Tommy's pocket. Do you know what I think would be really good? I think someone should ask Tommy, someone like, I don't know, Ben Habib or Rupert Lowe, and ask Tommy directly, do you receive any funds from Israel or via agents of Israel? Just a thought. I might ask him myself.
So we're arguing about a position that either of us are not 100% sure on.
Exactly. You said it as though you were, and I had to
telling me that I'm wrong.
I'm telling you don't know.
Yeah,
you can't prove it.
You're saying I'm wrong and you can't prove it.
Yeah.
Whereas I can't prove it the other way around.
Well,
so both of our arguments. So both of our arguments there, and it's a stalemate.
Hang on. That again, see, you're twisting logic here. What actually happened there was, I'm not making the argument that he is not a wealthy man. I don't really know. I imagine he's not. That's my opinion. I didn't go on a podcast and say the thing about Tom Robinson is he's poor, because I have no idea. You did. You just came on and said he's a wealthy man. He's been paid by Israel. You made all of these allegations, and you have nothing to stack it up.
So who paid for his trip to Israel? Because it wasn't Tommy.
Why does that matter?
Because he's paid to do this stuff. He's given money to go and promote these ideas.
Do these ideas. He's not.
Okay, well, we'll have to agree to disagree on that topic.
Well, we'll have to agree. We have to agree we don't know. Neither of us know. We need to agree that we don't know. I think you need to think that you know things or you don't. There has to be a certainty. And again, that's a problem with internet culture. Everyone has to go, I know this answer, I know that answer. We don't know about Tommy's accounts and numbers and finances. And there's a lot of things that we don't know about. You don't know what would happen if we tried to go and knock on John Barnes's door and kick him out of the country.
No, neither do you.
No, we don't know. But we know that it's pretty scary.
But we do have historical examples of mass populations being expelled from areas.
Yeah, well, the Nazis was one example.
Yeah, all the Germans got expelled after the war.
In more recent time, Pakistan just deported 2 million Afghans. And that happened, last year? 2 million they deported. President Trump is deporting millions. Happens all over the place, yeah. Pakistan has shown us how to do it, yeah. So far, I think Steve Laws is winning this hands down. And earlier on in the start of the video, in episode 1, I said I don't put that much store by some degrees from higher education, unless it's something like engineering or the sciences. I mean, Andrew was supposed to be the university guy, but the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog's back. He doesn't seem to have been as well prepared for this interview as Steve. Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Jews getting expelled. I mean, the issue there was they were brought back in and put into camps and things. Which I've also heard you say that you don't believe the numbers around that.
I don't trust the narrative.
And the numbers?
The numbers, yeah, that's part of the narrative. I question the numbers.
But the Nazis wrote those numbers themselves, the 6 million Jews. They wrote that they actually tell us that, the Nazis.
The testimonials.
There are loads. There's
a lot of people were testimonialed under duress, and there's also the fact that the people that run the industry around the Holocaust, right, are Jewish. They will have an inherent bias towards their own, naturally. Right?
The Nazis kept documents.
I don't trust
the Hertha Telegram, the Cora reports.
I do not trust the narrative around the Holocaust.
That's all I say. Death books, Goebbels' diary.
I don't trust the narrative.
So nothing. So again, you're getting stats again.
I got to come in here, guys, because years ago I done a lot of research into places like Auschwitz and Treblinka. Yeah, I'm not going to go into it, what I found now. I do know one thing. The magic number, 6 million, you've only got to have a look at the signs that were originally on Auschwitz. The numbers decreased year by year as more people questioned the narrative. Yeah. So, but Andrew is quoting the magic number 6. Yeah. Whether I'll do another video about my findings on Treblinka or Auschwitz, who can tell?
And you're just going, well, I want to believe the thing I want to believe, and I'm going to believe it anyway.
So everyone was made into soap and lampshades.
I think a lot of people were. I don't know exactly what happened with the soap thing. I don't know.
So you trust the narrative that the soaps and...
I trust the narrative that 6 million died.
You're going to, because you're Jewish.
Well, and because
You
I trust
have
the
an
Nazis are
inherent
very
bias.
good with numbers.
You have an inherent bias.
What do you say to the Auschwitz death books? What do you say to Goebbels' diary that pointed out that they did exterminate millions of Jews? And why does it matter to you? This is what I
It
don't
doesn't
understand
matter
about the
to me. This
Groypers.
is the thing. I never talk about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
I was asked about it on a podcast by Liam. It's not like I'm on Twitter saying Holocaust this, Holocaust that. You should know. You follow me. I don't talk about it unless I'm asked about it.
So
So
this is something that's popular among the Groypers. Are you a Groyper? What's
no,
a
I'm not a Groyper. Groypers are Nick
What's the
Nick
difference?
Fuentes fans.
What's the difference in terms of what you guys would think?
Well, for instance, I would argue that the Groypers, most of them are brown. That's one thing. They're all foreign. They all live in America, from what I can gather, or Mexico, in places like that. And
But their views
are very different to mine. They are very much like civic nationalists, but rather than being against Islam, they're against the Jews.
So would you say you're, compared to the average mainstream person, more extreme than the likes of Nick Fuentes?
I wouldn't say I'm more extreme. I'm just different on a different spectrum.
We have the contemporary census of Jews going down in Europe from 9.5 million to 3.5 million. We have Goebbels' diary. We have accounts from the Nazis. So if we are at a point in society where we just go, I don't know.
Okay, I've got to come in here as well. Sorry about this, guys. Talking about these figures from different sources. I read a book by one of the men who interrogated the camp commandant of Auschwitz, and he openly brags about it in his book, how the camp commandant was tortured into agreeing with the figures that he was presented with. Yeah. There's also then the Red Cross figures that are considerably more accurate. Perhaps I should have looked them up before speaking. But yeah, I doubt the figures very much as well. Another thing about Auschwitz, you never hear any talk about the camp theatre or the camp swimming pool. Oh well, move on.
I'm just going to say Tommy's this and he's getting paid when you've got no evidence. I don't know. The Jews are this. The Holocaust numbers are probably not right, even though we have Nazis.
I said I don't trust the narrative.
And you say that there's no room in your mind for doubt. Then what is the point of it? It just sounds like you've got a mad belief now.
You can refer to my ideology however you wish.
I wish there was more to it. I wish
however
there
you
was
wish.
backed up by stats.
My position is simple, Andrew. I want my country back. I want England for the English. I do not want to be demographically replaced in my homeland.
Yeah.
My position is total remigration until everyone goes.
Not going to work.
It's a very simple. You may disagree, but it's a very simplistic line to take, right? That's the line I want. I want my country back. I do not care who I offend. I do not care about the emotional arguments.
Good on you.
I do not care about all of the nonsense around I was born here, or I came over legally, or I'm a good one, I paid tax, and I've won a Nobel Prize, or so forth. That means nothing to me. What I'm saying is, it's irrelevant what your achievements are. You're just still not English. This is still not your land.
Well, it is because Jews have been here since 1066. And look, I get you.
Andrew, are you sure you should have released this video? You just make yourself look foolish. You've been here since 1066. Oh.
Your point. I don't know why Jews aren't part of it if they've been here since 1066. I get that they were expelled for 100 or 200 or 300 years and then came straight back and have still been here for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's ridiculous to go back to the 1600s and send people back to wherever they were there, as it would be for black people who have been here for a very long time. I do get your point, though, around, look, if it's someone's parents that have just moved over here, do we then say they're English? This is not easy. Right, I get it. If a Jewish person as well just moved over just from their parents, it's not easy. That's why this Welsh choir boy idea about what's his name, Rudolf Cabana, that's absurd, right? It's not a Welsh choir boy, is it? So I have sympathy with that, but ultimately, firstly, it's undoable. You can't go about just kicking out those people. The English people don't want it. Most English people don't want it. You're a complete minority.
At the moment.
They'll never want that.
No, Brexit didn't happen until it did.
Yeah, but they did want Brexit. I mean,
but not everyone did it first.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get British people, English people, even people who have families who go back 1,000 years, kicking out the likes of Ian Wright from this country.
Well, I believe that will happen. Total remigration. Like I say, you're gonna be on a different spectrum from me. Yeah. You've got self-interest for Jewish interest because you are Jewish.
It's not just Jews.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Okay, so all minority groups. Let's say you've got a sympathetic approach for them because you are a minority group. So you put yourself in a similar category to them, whether you like to admit it or not. You see yourself as other.
But the same goes for you. I get it. And you feel scared and you feel trapped, and you're looking around going, "Shit, this is changing." And I agree with you. It is scary, and it has happened too fast, and things need to be done about that. But if I'm seeing someone who is motivated not by facts but by fear, and it's just completely undoable, and it goes completely against what I would call British values of fairness and equality.
Those fairness and equality values are what led our people to be demographically replaced in our homeland. It's what's led to the rape gangs. It's what's led to the drug gangs. It's what's led to the assaults and the murders of our people. That's why.
That was perverted fairness.
It doesn't matter. It's still what led to it.
No, but it wasn't. It wasn't what I'm talking about, though. That wasn't liberalism and how it should be carried out. That wasn't my idea of what a liberal society is. That was basically communism, or social communism of some sort. That was people going equity. That was people bringing people in and denigrating our own culture and saying to those people that their culture is better and we must celebrate them, instead of saying to them, if you come here, you assimilate to this.
I don't believe in assimilation. I don't think it happens. Integration is a complete myth.
Yeah, it's hard.
If you walk around certain areas of London, like the Jewish areas, like they're not integrated. Like you can say that yourself. Like you dress more like an Englishman than most of your people.
Hang on, but you've got an idea about most of the people, because again, you're seeing those guys who are the nutters wearing the black hats and all those kinds of things. I never met one of those guys growing up in my life.
I'm not saying you have. I'm not assuming that. I'm not assuming anything
Well,
about
we're
your
very
life.
different.
Yes,
So
but
those guys don't assimilate, and I agree with you.
And there's not just those groups. We could go into Indians. We could go into Muslims. We could go into travellers. There's all various different groups. They just stick amongst their own. I live in a town called Folkestone. Just over from me is a little small town called Sheraton. That's where the Gurkhas are based. And they have taken over a whole portion of that town. They have their own shops, they have their own schools, they have their own, even like money shops and so forth. Like, it's all built around them. They keep themselves to themselves. And like, I'm not saying these are horrible people. They serve in the army and so forth, but they should still be going home because they're taking over areas of our country, claiming it for their own.
Yeah.
And it's just like a foreign enclave.
Look, I have sympathy with a lot of those thoughts. I do, and I think the Civnats or whatever do have crossover with the Ethnats. I think there's a crossover in shit, man. And a lot of what you're saying visibly.
My position is a reaction to the problems that are at hand.
Yeah.
That's a fair assessment.
But it's not realistic.
It doesn't matter whether you agree with it's realistic
or not. No, it's
or not.
not. No one agrees with that.
Who you say no one? That's a complete lie.
Almost no one. You're not even in Homeland anymore because you're too extreme for them.
No, I left Homeland because it completely imploded.
But wasn't it? I read it was because a gay guy was involved.
It's not just because of a gay guy. There was massive problems internally, from top to bottom. But yes, the one that brought onto the timeline was the gay drama that sort of escalated the whole situation. But that wasn't the founding reason for it destroying. There was fundamental issues with the remigration policies, with the direction we was going as a party, who we're going to appeal to and so forth. Whereas, for instance, the leadership of the Homeland Party wanted to appeal to the moderates. And I said, no, we should build up a baseline of nationalists first and then appeal out to the centre grounds, because without having a core activist base and ideology built up for the party, is going to collapse when you bring in all of these people for the big tent when everyone doesn't really agree on it. So we'd have people that were Zionists, and we'd have people that weren't Zionists, we'd have people that sort of were like pagans, and we'd have people that were Christians and so forth, and all of these people have different goals at the end of the day. So getting this big tent of organisations is why it collapsed amongst itself.
There aren't enough.
Okay, guys, I think this is going to have to be part 3 of a 4-part series. We will get to the end eventually. The problem is my connection. It takes me hours to upload a video, and this one is going to take quite some time now. And when I'm uploading, the wife can't watch the TV or the programs that she likes. Yeah, so I've got to be a little bit fair to her. So I'll try and get this out as soon as I can, and I'll start on part 4 tomorrow. Thanks, guys. You've been listening to Paul Morris, The Green Arrow.